Hello and welcome to this video in which we're going to be taking a look at some of the resources in Purple Mash that you can use to create custom or bespoke resources across Key Stage 1 and 2. Let's take a look at how we can customize some of the ready-made writing activities in Purple Mash. So I'm going to do a search for plants and filter it for Year 2 activities. And I see that we've got an activity here, Plant Diary. So let's open it up and take a look and see if it's suitable. So within here I've got a welcome screen, and then behind that I've got a writing template here. Now I notice that there's a think about column here on the left which is going to give some scaffolding to the children, and on the right I've got a clip art gallery as well that the children can use. I can see at the top here it's called My Plant Diary, and I'd like to change that to Beach Class Plant Diary. So what I can do is click onto the text here, and straight away I notice there's a padlock appeared which is showing me that something's locked. So I'm just going to turn off the text locking to start with, and that will enable me to edit the text that's here. And you can see now I can access this, and let's just change that to Beach Class Plant Diary. I can turn the text lock back on now, and what that does is it means that the children, when they use this template that I'm creating, they won't be able to edit that writing at the top. So I can now click out of that and it will zoom out for me. Other things that I can do to customize this is, well, the first thing I like to do is to look at this think about box over here, and this is really prompt. If I click the top one that says seed, I've got a lot of options here, including a box at the bottom here called text to send. Now, I'm just going to click the button in the top left-hand corner here to switch into child view, where I don't have all the editing tools, and you'll see what's going on here. You'll get the idea of it. So when I click on seed, it's giving a title and a few prompts for the children, and there's also this box at the bottom that says add this text. And what that does is if I click into a text box here and click the add this text, it gives a sentence starter for the children to continue building from. Or it could just be it will put in one word of ambitious vocabulary, or it could put in a whole sentence and the children have to select the whole sentences in the correct order for sequencing. I'll just delete this now because I want this to look exactly as it should for a child when they open it up. Let's just delete the text there. Now you've got the idea. So to edit this, I go back into the teacher view here, and if I want to edit any of these, I can just click into the boxes and delete and add to it, or I can add a further tip as well. What is a seed? How do you plant it? I could just ask how big is a seed? I could get the children to write something about that as well. So easily done. I can also add a voiceover to this. What is a seed? How do you plant one? How big are they? Click the button to insert the sentence starter into your text and then finish it off. Remember to check it carefully and add capital letters and full stops. So now I've added a voiceover that will be available for the children to listen to whenever they click onto this seed section here. I can go through the rest of the sections on roots and make similar modifications. I can modify the text to send, as you've already seen, the writing tips or the title, and add recordings to it. Other things I can modify in here are the pictures available. So I could make it so some photos of a class activity could be available for every child. To do this, I click the button to add clip art, and I'll choose some files which I have on my PC. And I've got some photos here of seeds growing. So if I click on these and use the shift and select to do a range select, it will select 4 photos. I click on open, give the computer a moment to process that, and those photos are now added to the clip art, which will be available for the children to use in their writing. Now the last thing that I'd like to add to this is a checklist, and to do that, in teacher view in the upper right corner here, you see where it says checklist. I'm just going to put a tick there, and what that's done is in the lower left corner we now have something that says checklist 0 out of 0. I could edit the title of this and call it success criteria if I wanted to. What do you call these in your school? You can change it quite easily here. Then I click plus. Similar idea to the think about box, and in here I could put something like capital letters, and I could add a tip here. So remember capitals to start A. I can add things along here. I can add a voice tip if I want. Remember to add capital letters at the start of your sentence and for the names of proper nouns. Also, remember to put one space after your full stop and before your capital. Now what that does is, in the child's view, it will become a tick box that the children can put a tick in to say they've checked and they've got included that in their writing. So it's a really nice opportunity, this, to provide some scaffolding and support with some verbal encouragement and the challenge of success criteria. You can save different versions of your template for different groups if you want to, but I've made quite a few changes to this now, haven't I? So I've edited the think about box, added success criteria, and added specific photos that could come from a class activity or school trip. So it's ready. It's time now for me to save this. And to save it, just the menu in the top left hand corner, let's click save, and I want to save this as into the My Work folder. I'll call it Plant Diary, and I want to save that. Once I've saved the file, to set it as a to-do is very quick and easy. From the menu in the top left hand corner, simply click share and click set to do, and you'll be into hopefully the familiar territory of setting this as an activity for the children in your class. Let's look at creating scaffolded activities from a blank canvas, shall we? Something that I've had interesting moments with in the past is giving the children a blank canvas in one of the music activities. So for example here in 2Beat, what I found is that if I ask the children to create a great rhythm that will get everybody dancing, some of them will just fill it up with lots and lots. They want to colour in every box and see how much noise they can make rather than what a fantastic rhythm they can make. So they end up creating something like this, which has certainly got some kind of rhythm to it, but it's not really the kind of thing that would get me dancing at the disco. So what I want to do is to give the children a structure to build on, and I could simply give them something like this, where I've got a nice drum sound here, and if I press play now, that's a start. And I could say to the children, can you just add extra sounds onto the other lines here? And they can change things themselves, just like I'm changing to the bongo drums here. They can select new instruments and change the volumes on the tracks. But the point is, I'm giving them that starter. I've started, so you can finish now. I'm going to do the same as I did before. I'm just going to click on save. I'm going to call it Pulse. I've done this before, that's why there's one there. I'll overwrite it. And in the same way, I can now go to share and set that as a to-do for the class. And the children then won't have to start from scratch, but they can finish off what I've already started for them. And that's, again, another really powerful tool that you can use within Purple Mash. You can use the principles behind that of starting something for the children to finish in many different areas across the curriculum. Most of these tools here in the tools section would work really, really well with this idea. So have a think, how could you use some of those tools creatively with your children? We click onto tools, we scroll down into the quiz and game creation section, and here we have 2Quiz. We'll launch it because we want to make our own quiz. Now within here, the way that you add new questions is with the plus button here. You can play your quiz to see how it works by pressing this button up here. Most of the questions will let you preview them with this button, but I normally like to start by clicking the intro screen button and getting it set up. So in here I could call this Quick Quiz. I can edit the font and background colour of this section using these buttons up here. I can add a picture to it by clicking on the paint can here. I'm just going to use a clock here, but I could actually have taken a selfie with it, or I could choose a file, perhaps a class photo from my PC if I wanted to. I'll just stick with what's there though. You've got a space in here to do the instructions. So have a go and show what you know. I can add a voiceover in here. I'll show you how that works. Record. Hello and welcome to this half-terms quiz. I hope that you'll enjoy taking it and have fun. Best of luck. So now that we've got this set up, I've got a few final options down here at the bottom for the amount of time that we're giving the children to do the quiz in. I can set it for no time limit if I want to, and the sound effects. Right, let's get some questions into it, shall we? When I click the plus button, you'll see there are 12 different question types available. I'm only going to use a couple of them on here, but you can see how all of them work by clicking the help video up here in the top right hand corner, and there's a short section for every type of question here. All I want to do today though is to give you a flavour of how it works so that you can get an idea of the possibilities. So let's choose a multiple choice question. Let's also have a labelling question. They're quite interesting ones. I like using these. And lastly, let's use a close procedure question as well. Okay, I'm going to put the close question first. You'll see why in a moment. Now, to do a closed procedure question, you just type in a sentence. Words that I want the children to understand and insert correctly into this sentence are complete. So I click on the word complete and then click use. And I'm also going to put battery in there as well, and we'll use that word. I want to add a few trick words. Okay, now I'll just show you how this works. I'm using simple mode at the moment, and if I press play and come into this quiz, you can see there's a gap showing me where the missing words are, and if I drag in the correct answers here, like so, and click on done, it tells me that I've got it correct. Press stop at the top to come back out. If I click where it says simple mode and go into hard mode, the difference is the location of the missing words isn't shown, and I could drag these and put them in anywhere. So it's a bit trickier. I'll leave it in simple mode. So these are great for checking knowledge and how much knowledge and understanding children have retained from something. Here, multiple choice question, we could have something in here like So in which year was the Battle of Bosworth Field? It should probably be a capital B there. Pretty sure that's right. So in here, let's put some answers in. So it might have been in 1500. It was in 1485. Let's add some extra possibilities. Let's have a 1502 in there, and then let's have a 1477. Down into the bottom, I click into the space here, and I think I'll search and pop a picture of a crown in there, since it was all about who became the King of England at the time. And I need to put a tick into the correct answer box, which is 1485. I could have more than one correct answer in here, so I could be saying tick the multiples of 7 in this table, and we could have 6 possibilities and 2 of them might be multiples of 7, so it's not just a single answer. Then the labelling question, I really like these. You click into the middle and you can put a picture in there, draw a picture yourself, or I'm going to upload one that I've already got. So I think on my PC here I've got a picture of a heart that I can use, get the children to label, so we'll have that. That's nicely zoomed in there, so I click on OK, and then I drag labels in for things that I want the children to know. So this part here is a ventricle, this part up here is the aorta or the arch of the aorta, and so on. Now this, this could be a map of Britain with cities marked on it, or it could be parts of a plant. It could be labelling the parts of 3D shapes, vertices. There's lots and lots of possibilities here. Again, I can add an audio to it. Click onto here and record. Aorta. I'll just say the word for the children. Ventricle. Okay, so how does this look? Well, these ventricle, you can click on the buttons here and then you drag them to the place on the label that you think it belongs, and you do your check and it gets marked. So nicely, you know, a really nice quiz question style there with lots and lots of cross-curricular possibility. Let's play through the whole thing and I'll show you how it looks. Hello and welcome to this half-terms quiz. I hope that you'll enjoy taking it and have fun. Best of luck. So we click on play and then we go through our quiz like this. Click on done. Whoops, got one wrong. Oh dear, next. And on here, if I get one wrong on this type of question, I can slide in the top corner here and see what the correct answer was. My next question here, we've already seen how this kind of thing works. Let's get that wrong as well. When I've done it, I get the option to play again and try to improve my score or to finish off. Now, to save this and to set it as a to-do, same as before, just click up here, save, I'll call it quiz. I've already got one called quiz, we'll overwrite that. And then in the same way as before, share, set to do, and we're off giving it to the class. So another really powerful tool that you can give activities to the children with. The nice thing about 2Quiz is that anything that any quizzes that the children do, they're stored in the data dashboard up here. So you can go into scores, click on 2Quiz, and then if you've got, you might need to change the dates like I need to here in my pretend school. So I can see only 2 children in my pretend school have done a quiz, but in your school you might need to change and select the class that you're looking for the scores from, and once you've chosen the class you can choose the activity, so the name of the quiz that you've set would appear on here and you'd be able to look at it, and then you can print this out to an Excel spreadsheet. You can click the headings to sort in from high to low scores and so on. So a really useful tool there that you can sort of make custom for your children. So I have a Word document here with a couple of questions on it that I've created, and if I want to give children the opportunity to write on this in PDF Annotator, I just need to save it as a PDF file. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to save it to the desktop and let's call it let's call it quiz again. So on here, I've saved it as a Word document, and now I need to export it as a PDF like this, and we'll pop that onto the desktop again. And that's done. So I can now go back into Purple Mesh, and I need to, from the tools, go to PDF Annotator, which is here. Then from here, I'm just going to drag in my PDF file here, and you can see the PDF has opened up in Purple Mesh and I can zoom in on it. Now the tools on the left are what I have to edit. So first of all, I might want to just pop a little text message at the top here to say, please hand in by Friday. And I could put a highlight box behind that just to make that stand out a little bit. And then I've also got tools here like a paintbrush, so I can write on the document like so. Let's undo that. I can type on it using the text tools here. I can draw lines and squares and highlight and so on. So can the children. So the point with this is once I save this, today's date is the 13th of the 6th, let's call it 1306. Once I've saved this annotated PDF, I can set it as a to-do for the children. Let's click on share and set as a to-do again here. And I'm into the usual process. Once that I've set this as a to-do, the children can use the same tools here to respond to it. So they could use the paintbrush here and perhaps zoom in on a tablet if they were using that, and they'd be able to use their finger to write on the screen and put a little mark where Liverpool is. Hopefully they'll put it there. They can also write answers onto the screen as well, which is going to look dreadful now that I'm trying to write it with a mouse and not with my finger on a touch screen. But you get the idea of how that could work for a child writing with their finger on the screen. They can also type answers in as well, like so. And then when they hand it in, what you see on their handed in paper is this. So there's lots of possible applications for this, with you creating your own worksheets for the children to do it, or you can use any PDF file. Perhaps you subscribe to commercial schemes for maths or English, and you could upload those PDFs in here and have the children directly answering onto these, and all the work gets put into your to-do folder. None of it gets lost on the way home or gets soggy in the rain and so on, and it's all nicely organized. So really great feedback that I've had from teachers on this tool. Well, everybody, we've taken a look at some tools today and some ways of using those tools to customize the experience your children have in your school and to perhaps better make the resources suit the needs of your setting. I hope you found it useful. Thanks ever so much for watching. Goodbye.